Hi everyone, Hairthany Neckfat Tano here, the internet's laziest music nerd. And it's time for a review of this new Destructo Disk EP, Kelly Green Hardcore, subtitled Thanks for the Cheddar, Volume 2. Virginia-based punk rock band Destructo Disk features members that are people with names, such as Gideon and Molly, and don't smed back my favorite, Danfrid. The group have been releasing music for years, but following their first proper album, Bad Gravity, back in 2022, this is the first EP of theirs to be released after it, other than Gravity Not Included, which contained a couple of outtakes, more or less. Technically, the band first released an LP back in 2018 with Punk Rocks for Kids Who Can't Skate, though that was more so a pseudo-compilation of previous recordings. While that project still mostly worked as a fairly cohesive full-length, Bad Gravity demonstrated a leap far beyond even it. With its skillful balance of aggression, melody, groove, humor, and contemplative introspection, Dee Dee showcased through a very solid record what they could accomplish on a slightly grander scale with their equally chaotic and charismatic approach to songwriting and performance. The question then is, do they continue to demonstrate their prowess on their newest EP? Pretty much yeah. As the subtitle Thanks for the Cheddar Volume 2 implies, this is indeed not only a follow-up to Bad Gravity, but also the second installment in what is alleged by the band to be a trilogy of releases dedicated to their generous fans. The first volume, released in late 2020, was efficient in execution and enjoyable, but feels very different from this, in part due to its more studio sound instead of lo-fi roominess, but also because there's a bit more palpable ambition on display here with a broader scope in style and dynamics. Double D often go out of their way to take a few left turns in their music, but that mostly goes for individual songs having various changes in tempo, groove, and dynamics. These involved structures go a long way in making the songs re-listenable, while also staying true to the band's uniqueness, as they mostly stray away from going to Mr. Bungle levels of insanity. They're more in line with, say, Minutemen or more contemporarily something like Turnstile, as they are still very much punk through and through while also embracing any and all influences. While individual songs from the band often refrain from taking wild departures from one another, this EP sees them going against that by opening with a style that they have yet to fully dabble with on a non-single release. The title track is certainly an energetic hip-hop and rap influenced number. It's also quite humorous with the "I don't know how I got here, they make me play the drums" bit. But I can't help but think it comes across as a bit of a diversion rather than an exciting commitment to the style. I mean, I like California Uber Alles too, but here the arrangement feels
a little stock.
Me, You, Wag You chugs along in a very satisfactory fashion, really showing us how good the band sounds in a colossally huge but also tight-sounding groove. This quality of recording is consistent throughout, which is great to hear, though I could have done with a bit less vocal distortion in certain parts if I had to nitpick. For the Commonwealth of Man combines this thick sound with a relentless drive that parts excellently with the riffs to really propel you forward as you're listening. Frog Lovers Anonymous serves as an excellent follow-up. I enjoy both the up-tempo nature and the more open sound of it thanks to some interesting riffs and great vocals. I Look Up and See You stands as a highlight of both the EP and the band's collective work thus far, with its ponderous riffs, precise vocal arrangement and delivery, as well as some provocatively sentimental lyrics. It taps into a specific emotional approach that the band is great at conveying. The composition here also struck me in a much more impactful way than it did when I first heard it back when it was released as a single. It's fascinating how, even on a short EP, a few surrounding songs can provide a context which adds another dimension to the listening experience of a track such as this. My Own Worst Enemy 2, aside from having the best title of any song on the EP, rounds things out nicely with some effective vocal interplay, an intriguingly antagonistic lyrical perspective, and a good outro. although it does fade out at the end, which of course completely invalidates the song and nullifies its positive qualities, right, Jebby? As they so often do, this band's latest release gets me excited for what they have in store for the future. Whether it's a new expansion of their sound or simply seeing the songs performed live, they clearly care a great deal about transporting the passion they feel to their audience. This is a more than worthwhile addition to their output, and fans of punk music of any and all flavors ought to give this and their other releases a shot. I'm feeling something between a 0 and a 10 on this thing, just somewhere in that area. Train Station, what did you think of this EP? Did you love it, rate it? What does he say during this part? I don't care. Video over. Forever.